Greetings, welcome back, RealVacantLand.com. My name is Luke Smith, and I'd like to share with you today 3 challenges that I see in land flipping business. Now, I started buying land and sending out mailers in 2015. I was reading on the internet that you could send out offers for $100 an acre. You could mail an offer, and you could buy land. You could buy this land in the middle of nowhere, and you could sell it on the internet for more money. And so I gave it a try. I started sending letters, and the first couple rounds were horrible, and I got just a lot of people yelling at me. And I bought a course with Land Academy guys. I paid them, and I got their information and their advice, and started taking some of their advice and using it in my letters. And sure enough, I just started getting deals. I started getting deals, and I started buying land and selling it for a bunch more. The first property I bought was $500. The guy said, "Well, you got to buy the other one too." So I bought 2 of them for $1,000, and I sold the first one for $4,500 on the internet, just posting on Craigslist. And I was hooked. I was like, "Yeah, this is fun. I'm gonna go buy. How many more can I buy?" I started sending mailers all over the place, and looking for more $500 properties and that I could sell for a couple $1,000. And I did that hundreds of times. It's lots of mailers, lots and lots of mailers. So I got a picture here on the screen. I got these are some mailers that I put together in my garage I don't know, maybe 9 months ago or something. And so building up the business along the way, I started sending a lot more mailers. I hired a bunch of different print shops to send mailers. I did mailers with partners. I did mailers on my own. I had a team of people on the phones, and I just tried to scale it up as much as I could, doing as much volume as I could. And eventually I bought machines and printing presses and bigger machines and fancier machines. You could stuff the mail faster, get the letters going out faster, and put them in these kinds of boxes and take them to the post office. I used to rent a Penske truck from the local Home Depot so I could load up enough mailers and make the run to the post office. And because my pickup truck didn't hold all the mail, it's like gonna bust the axle, right? So lots of mail, and just doing truckloads of mail to the post office. And so we get a lot of responses, get a lot of properties, and do it. But the market's changed. The biggest response, or one of the biggest problems I see in today's market, is competition. The market's changed. It's harder to do that now. There's the landowners are asking for more money. They've seen 15 of my letters, and they've seen them from other people too. And they're like, "Luke, stop sending me the same letter all the time. It's your stupid offer. You're sending me 25 cents on the dollar." So I tried. So the other challenge is, what price do you offer? I've tried different prices. Do you offer 40 cents on a dollar? Do you offer 50 cents on a dollar? Do you offer a dollar? And then try to get more creative and figure out different ways. And I mean, sometimes I screw up and I offer $1.50 on the dollar, and they still don't sell the land. Sometimes they say, "Yeah, great," but I mean, the numbers don't work, and the response has just gone down, down, down as more people are doing this, and people are calling them, they're texting them, they're finding their email, they're tracking them down in lots of different ways, and just me sending mail to the address that they have posted, for their tax bills. So that's one of the problems I see in today's market is competition. That's the biggest main one. It used to be more about data and getting control and understanding, but I think the data technologies have moved forward in a big way. I think my understanding of using that technology has moved forward in a big way. My understanding of how to use data. So with the data, I was always about what land should we make offers on? How much should we offer? And where's the competition? Those are the 3 things I see as the problems in today's market. So 3 challenges. What land? I think in today's market, it's saturated in the lower end. I'm going to jump on the screen. So I'm going to talk about the lower end and what I see as the lower end. I've got Mojave County, Arizona pulled up on the screen. We're in Zillow, and I've got the settings set to solds within the last year. So the last year solds, I should do newest. It is sorted newest to oldest. So the newest, I'm filming this right now. This is September 2024. And so the backside of the summer, and the newest trade on here is $5,500 for 2 acres. This looks like classic desert square, and 8,000, 7,000, 24,000. One with a building on it for $100,000. I want to move this side of the screen, not that. And $14,000, $4,000. Here's your classic $4,000 desert square, just a square in the desert. And those are the kinds of properties I think people will get back to you on mailers and say, yeah, I'll sell it, because the realtors don't show up and they don't work on it, and they won't, make this thing happen for me. Here's another desert square. This one's like two of them next to each other. $8,500 for 10 acres, two fives next to each other. It doesn't even look like it's got access. Classic rural vacant land. Here's some more desert squares, 7,000, 3,000. So these kinds of prices were amazing for me when I first started. I'm like, oh, I can buy it for $1,000 or $500 or $2,000 and go sell it for $4,000 and do all the paperwork and make it happen and make a nice spread. And the percentage spread is great, and I love it. And how many of these can I do? And you can go back and you can see my YouTube videos of 1,000 plus of those kinds of properties all across the country. But the time that it takes and the energy that it takes to do those is quite amazing. You gotta have some grit to keep doing hundreds of those, right? So I started skipping to a little bit higher dollar properties. I mean, we could look at other ones. We could look at Navajo County, Arizona. And so here's the solds, and I was going to show you how many is for sale. That was kind of part of my point here, but I'll do it on some of these. Navajo County, we've got, so higher prices going by, 173 results sold in the last year. 110, 15,000, 210, 21. I was kind of surprised when I pulled this up here, because they're showing more trees than I ever saw in any of the land I got in Navajo. These other people offer enough money to get trees. And so they've got land with trees, and they're taking pictures of the trees, showing the trees, and selling some of these properties. Some of these, a good deal of them are over 100 grand, 200 grand. I mean, 255 grand for 7 acres in Navajo. Holy cow. Those properties used to be a heck of a lot cheaper, in my opinion. So the prices have gone up and up and up. We go to Apache. I used to buy properties in Apache all day long, 5s, 10s, 20s, 40s. So now 5 acres, last trade, 5 acres, $100,000. It's just like head scratcher numbers for me. But then there's a 5 acres for $4,500. It's a long, skinny one. And then a 45, 22. The numbers are still out there. They're still happening. 118 results in the last year. If we go over for how much is for sale, there's 142 results for sale. There's more of them for sale right now than sold in the last year. That was kind of my point. There's a bunch of stuff on the market. The markets are clogging up with a lot of higher priced ask stuff. And the sellers see these higher price numbers, and they want the higher price numbers like they should. And they've gotten a whole bunch of these letters in the mail, and they're not as in tune to go sell to everyone that mails them a letter anymore. We could do Cochise County. We could say the same thing. I'm just bouncing around Arizona is a point. And I did a lot of properties in Arizona, and $6,500 for just shy of 4 acres. There's a lot of them going through here. $4,900. Privacy and convenience, because you can't get there, going by. But so these are the ones that are for sale. Let's look at the ones that are sold. 190 sold in the last year, and 236 for sale. So there's a good deal of them for sale. There's a lot of inventory on the market, is part of my point, even though they're asking higher prices and it's not happening. I think it's hard to buy these things, get yours on the market, and be the best price and the one that you want to sell the fastest, and always want to be the fastest, so you can go back and buy more and buy the next one. I used to send a lot of 25 cent on the dollar offers in these kinds of markets, and I get the property and I put it back on the market at 50 cents on the dollar and be the first one to sell because I was the cheapest in the market. It's really hard to get people to accept those numbers. It's really hard to get the property, when there's a whole lot of overhanging stuff for sale in the market, to be the cheapest one on the market, because everyone just keeps beating you on down in those kinds of areas, and just makes it harder. We could go to higher markets like Maricopa or Pinell, or let's do Maricopa. Maricopa County will get even bigger numbers. So this is Phoenix proper, and then going out into the hinterlands to the west. 594 properties sold in the last, I do have this. I forgot. I have this narrowed down. This isn't all the properties. This is I think 2 to 10 acre properties. So these are like more sizable properties that are more common in the land trade than infill lots. So it's not infill lots. Now we're in Maricopa County where infill lots would be much more popular, but this is a lot more of the hinterlands of Maricopa County. So 594 results sold. And if we click over to for sale, 551. There we go. That's more even. But my point is there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of competition of people trying to pick these up for cheap money and go sell them for more on the internet. The market has changed. And so I think with those three things, what land to make offers on, how much to offer, and where's the competition. I think the competition is in the lower end properties. And I think if we go after the higher end properties, we get a lot less competition, and it's a lot easier to figure out what prices to offer. And there's lots of different ways to do that. Maybe that's not the topic for today's video, but now I'm switching from Zillow over to Crexi. Crexi is commercial real estate exchange, commercial properties, commercial listings. I got Florida on the screen instead of Arizona. And so switching out of the deserts, going to a place where a lot of people are moving to. And the numbers, if we start looking at what's for sale or what's for sold on here, you just add a couple zeros. You add a couple 3 zeros to the end of all the transaction numbers we were just talking about, and you can start seeing the deals go by with a lot more zeros. And I think there's less competition there. I think that's much more of what kind of land we should be working on. I think that's by looking at the deals, when these deals trade, when they have a brand name, when they have a rent coming from the property, whether it's an apartment complex or a retail center, or shopping center, grocery store, quick service restaurant, whatever it might be, when we know how much rent that thing can pay, can produce, we can do math off of that rent and we can figure out a value for these properties. And the market, the commercial real estate market knows that and understands that math, understands that number, and they say, I would like a yield on my money. I would like a 5% yield on my money. I would like an 8% yield on my money for that kind of property, or a 6.5% for that kind of property. And that's what they pay. And if you price it for that and you price it right, it sells. It sells fast, and you don't have the same kind of inventory up for sale as you had sold in the last year, like a lot of these other markets. It's not stacked up that way. You do see inventory of stuff for sale, but it's usually people that are asking way more price-wise than what the stuff trades at. And it's why not? They're collecting rent. They can sit around and collect rent until somebody takes a weird, awful price. And so they do, and they ask. But I think the numbers and the data makes a lot more sense to me in the commercial space of flipping land in the commercial space. And I've had some go great and had some that haven't. And I've learned a lot from all those, and I think I'm getting better and doing more of them out into the future. So that's what I see as the 3 challenges and some offsets to those in today's market, today's land flipping market. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. It's Luke Smith, ruralvacantland.com. See you in the next one. Bye.